Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Subhadramai Jaya Sudarshana. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Om Vishwapad Paramahansa Parivrajakaacharya Stotra Sata Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavateruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Namaha Pankajanaභaya Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangre. Hare Krishna. So, we welcome you all for this morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam discussion. So, we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 11, text number 36. उद्दाम भाव पिशुनामलवल्गुहाशा व्रीदावलोकनिहतो मदनोऽपि आशाम् सम्मूय चापमजहात् प्रमदो तमास्ता यस्येन्द्रियं विमथितुं कुहकैर्न सेकु उद्दाम भाव पिशुनामलवल्गुहाशा व्रीदावलोकनिहतो मदनोऽपि आशाम् सम्मूय चापमजहात् प्रमदौ तमस्ता यस्येन्द्रियं विमथितुं कुहकैर्न शेकु उद्दाम भाव पिशुनामलवल्गुहाशा व्रीडावलोकनिहतो मदनोऽपि आशाम् सम्मूय चापमजहात् प्रमदो तमास्ता यस्येन्द्रियं विमथितुं कुहकैर्न सेकु Please recite. उद्दाम भाव पिशुनामलवल्गुहाशा क्रीडावलोकनिहतो मदनोऽपि आशाम् सम्मूय चापमजहात् प्रमदोतमास्ता यस्येन्द्रियं विमतितुं कुहकैर्न शेकु उद्दामभावपिशुनामलवल्कुहाशा व्रीडावलोकनिहतो मदनोऽपि आशाम् सम्मूय चापमजहात् प्रमदोतमास्ता यस्येन्द्रियं विमतितुं कुहकैर्न शेकु. Anyone else? Uddama-bhava-pishunamalavalguhasha Vridavaloganihato madanopi asham Sammuya chapamajahat pramadotamasta Yashendriyam vimaditum kuhakairna sheku. Word to word meaning, translation, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Uddama, very grave. Bhava, expression. Pishuna, exciting. Amala, spotless. Valguhasa, beautiful smiling. Vrida, corner of the eye. Avaloka, looking. Nihataha, conquered. Madanaha, Cupid. Amadana, the greatly tolerant Shiva. Api, also. Yasham, whose. Sammuhyaha, being overpowered by. Chapam, bows. Ajahat, gave up. Pramada, women who madden. Uttamaha, of high grade. Ta, all. Yasya, whose. Indriyam, senses. Vimatitum, to perturb. Kuhakai, by magical feats. Na, never. Seku, was able. Translation. Although the queen's beautiful smiles and fruitive glances were all spotless and exciting, and although they could conquer Cupid himself by making him give up his bow in frustration, and although even the tolerant Shiva could fall victim to them, still, despite all their magical feats and attractions, they could not agitate the senses of the Lord. Purport. The path of salvation, or the path of going back to Godhead, always forbids the association of women, and the complete Sanatan Dharma or Varnashram Dharma scheme forbids or restricts association with women. How then can one be accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is addicted to more than 16,000 wives? This question may be relevantly raised by inquisitive persons really anxious to know about the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. And to answer such questions, the sages at Naimisaranya have discussed the transcendental character of the Lord in this verse and the following verses. It is clear herein that the feminine attractive features which can conquer Cupid or even the supermost tolerant Lord Shiva could not conquer the senses of the Lord. Cupid's business is to invoke mundane lust. The whole universe is moving due to being agitated by Cupid's arrows. The activities of the world are being carried on by the central attraction of male and female. A male is searching after a mate to his liking, and the female is looking after a suitable male. That is the way of material stimulus. And as soon as a male is combined with a female, the material bondage of the living being is at once tightly interlocked by the sex relation. And as a result of this, both the male's and the female's attraction for the illusory field of activities known as sweet home, motherland, bodily offspring, society, friendship, and accumulation of wealth increases. Thus a false but indefatigable attraction for the temporary material existence, which is full of miseries, is manifest. Therefore, those who are on the path of salvation for going back home, back to Godhead, are specially advised by all scriptural instruction to become free from such paraphernalia of material attraction. And that is possible only by the association of devotees of the Lord, who are called the Mahatmas. Cupid throws his arrows upon the living beings to make them mad after the opposite sex, whether the party is actually beautiful or not. Cupid's provocations are going on even among beastly societies, who are all ugly looking in the estimation of civilized nations. Thus Cupid's influence is exerted even amongst the ugliest forms, and what to speak of the most perfect beauties. Lord Shiva, who is considered to be the most tolerant, was also struck by Cupid's arrows when he became mad after the Mohini incarnation of the Lord, and he acknowledged himself to be defeated. Cupid, however, was himself captivated by the grave and exciting dealings of the goddess of fortune, and he voluntarily gave up his bow and arrows in a spirit of frustration. Such was the beauty and attraction of the queens of Lord Krishna. Yet they could not disturb the transcendental senses of the Lord. This is because the Lord is all perfect and thus Atmaram, or self-sufficient. He does not require anyone's extraneous help for his personal satisfaction. Therefore, the queens could not satisfy the Lord by their feminine attractiveness, but they satisfied him by their sincere affection and service. Only by unalloyed transcendental loving service could they satisfy the Lord, and the Lord was pleased to treat them as wives in reciprocation. Thus, being satisfied by their unalloyed service only, the Lord reciprocated the service just like a devout husband. Otherwise, he had no business becoming the husband of so many wives. He is the husband of everyone, but to one who accepts him as such, he reciprocates. This unalloyed affection for the Lord is never to be compared to mundane lust. It is purely transcendental, and the grave dealings which the queens displayed in natural feminine ways which were also transcendental, because the feelings were expressed out of transcendental ecstasy. It is already explained in the previous verse that although the Lord appeared like a mundane husband, his relation with his wives was factually transcendental, pure and unconditioned by the modes of material nature. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamcha Namaum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Once again, we welcome you all for this morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam discussion. So we are reading from the first canto, 11th chapter, which is entitled as Lord Krishna's Return to Dwarka. Yeah, so here we saw in the last chapter that which is also entitled as the departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka. So these are the pastimes of Lord, which is full of description. Any small event, it looks very small, just Lord is entering to Dwarka, Lord is departing towards Dwarka. So all these things are described in one chapter. So such are the extraneous description of the Lord's pastime, and so much details are there. And the more we read, the more we find more details and more relishment in such details. So these are the beauty of Lord's pastimes. So we are discussing in the section where the queens are welcoming Lord, and the different gestures of queens are described here. So here Prabhupada writes, so all these things which are mentioned, Prabhupada is understanding what will be beneficial for us who are conditioned souls. And that's why he is giving such a beautiful purport, which is applicable for us. Otherwise, just by reading on our own self the verses, it's not possible to understand its actual meaning and what is there for us to benefit from these verses. So here we see that there is attraction of Lord with the queens, and here Prabhupada is describing that those who are on the path of salvation are restricted with the association of the opposite sex. So why it is so? Because this attraction between the male and female is common in all the 84 lakh species of life. We have, so Srila Prabhupada has given us 4 regulative principles. What are those? No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, and no intoxication. Out of these 4 regulative principles, we have broken one regulative principle in all the species of life, which is illicit sex. That's something which is common in all the species of life. The intoxication is not available in other species, right? Not many of them do. Gambling is also not available. And what's that? In meat eating, some are vegetarian species also, deers, cows. There are many vegetarian species, but this sex life is there in all the species of life, which is common. That's why there is so much strong impulse we feel. And Srila Prabhupada always describes in his lectures that this attraction, the male and female are considered as the butter and fire. So wherever they will be there, then the butter and fire principle will act automatically. We cannot avoid it. It's unavoidable. One should not think that no, I am so much strong and I can go anywhere and connect with anyone, especially those who are practicing on this path of spirituality, on bhakti. So here it's saying that the Cupid is becoming frustrated, who is the one who takes care of all this attraction. Attraction features are taken care by the Cupid, who is the the demigod for the lust, invoking lust in everyone. He shoots his arrows, 5 arrows to invoke the lust, right? Now he is becoming frustrated because his work is not successful in this case, because these are the dealings on a transcendental platform. But we cannot imitate these dealings, right? Why? Because we are on a material platform. So material beings cannot imitate the things which are on transcendental platform. It's not possible. If we do so, then we will be in great trouble. And here it's mentioned to the degree that Lord Shiva even could not conquer the senses. Written that it is clearly herein that the feminine attractive features which can conquer Cupid or even the supermost tolerant Lord Shiva could not conquer the senses of the Lord. So when Lord Shiva becomes agitated, what to speak of conditioned soul like us. So we should never take a chance, or we should never give any kind of slackness in this regard. Otherwise we will be in great trouble, especially in this path of bhakti, where we are heading towards, our goal is to go back to Godhead. So it's very important to understand for us and how it can be done. So Srila Prabhupada has given everything in this purport. Jai Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this warning is not just written for brahmacharis. It is written for all the devotees who are heading towards back to Godhead. Either one may be in brahmachari ashram or one may be in householder ashram, grihastha ashram. It's not that one is in grihastha ashram, then he has all the license, for this. No, this purport or this advice is given for everyone. So if one is not careful, then one will be immediately dragged into this bewildering feature, which can distract us from our goal of life, which is going back to Godhead. So what Prabhupada is giving so Srila Prabhupada is telling here that association of devotees which is there can only save us. How we can come out of this material attraction? Just by keeping ourselves in safe association of devotees. And also, we have to be very prayerful. Many times we take it, we become very loose, or we feel that, oh no, I am very strong, I can handle any kind of situation, right? My chanting is very nice, or my sadhana is very good. Internally, when this is another way of getting illusioned, because we see that when externally things keeps on happening quite good, then we think that now I have become, all the things which are there inside my heart has gone out. But it's not possible to cleanse all the dirts which are accumulated from many millions of births so quickly. Of course, it can be done by the mercy of Lord. So one has to be very prayerful. We have to be very prayerful for the mercy of Lord. And also, if we are very honest towards what all anarthas we carry in our heart, then Lord will be more merciful, right? Just we see that when, for example, someone has done a thievery, and he surrenders to the police. Okay, I have done thievery, please. He accepts it. So he probably that his punishment will be decreased. Rather, if he is running back, and police is chasing after him, and he is giving trouble to them also, then he will be double punished. right? We see this in the material world also, right? Similarly, if we surrender all the anarthas which are there and we accept it, that I have that. Many times the first progress to come out of these things is accepting these anarthas, that I have all these things. Honestly accepting all these things, that I carry all these anarthas in my heart. I have lust, anger, greed, envy. So if we accept it, through prayers which are given by the various devotees of the Lord, by various acharyas, then it is very easy for us. One can play kartal. Yeah. So this is a very beautiful prayer written by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, which is there for us to accept our position, to honestly accept what we are in. Gopinath Mama Nivedana Shuno Gopinath Mama Nivedana Shuno Vishai Durjana Sada Kamarata Kichu Nahi Mora Guna Vishai Durjana Gopinath Amara Bharasha Tumi Gopi Amara Bharasha Tumi Tomara charane loinu sharana tomara kinkora ame tomara charane loinu sharana tomara kinkora Gopinath ke mone shodhibe more Gopinath ke mone na jani bhakati karme jada mati porechi samsara ghore na jani bhakati karme jada mati porechi Gopinath sakali tomara maya nahi mama bala jnana shunirmala shwadhina nahe kaya nahi mama bala jnana shunirmala shwadhina nahe Gopinath niyata charane sthana Mage pamara kandiya kandiya koro he karuna dana Mage pamara kandiya kandiya koro he karuna dana Gopinath tumi to sakali paro দুর্জনে তারিতে তোমারা সাকাতি কে আছে পাপীরা আরো দুর্জনে তারিতে তোমারা সাকাতি কে Gopinath, Tumi Kripa Parabara. Jivera Karane, Ashiya Prapanche, Lila Koile Shubhistara. Gopinath, Amiki doshe doshi. Ashura Shakala, Pailo Charana, Vinoda Thakilo Boshi. Ashura Shakala, Pailo Charana, Vinoda Thakilo Boshi. Gopinath, Mama Nivedana Shuno. Gopinath, 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 Gopinath. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. So this is the way, we can get away from all the difficulties which are there, haunting us in our day-to-day life, very, very much unavoidable, which is very difficult to overcome. Another way Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport itself, that the association of devotees, can help us to come out of these situations. So many times an association of devotees, Srila Prabhupada writes in one of the purport that how we should associate with devotees. We will read something. So this is from 11th Canto, 3rd chapter, 38th verse. So many times we stay in association of devotees, but we don't know how to associate with devotees, how to take maximum benefit of it. So it is mentioned very nicely. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purifying. As devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. Purport. Someone can read the purport?
According to Srila Swami, those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness should not envy one another or quarrel among themselves. Giving up such mundane feelings, they should gather together and chant the glories of the Supreme Lord for mutual glorification. Krishna Chakravarti Thakur has pointed out that the glorification of the Supreme Lord is especially important when performed in the association of pure devotees. When devotees engage in Sankirtan, chanting the glories of the Lord together, they experience the highest transcendental bliss and satisfaction. Thus, they encourage one another to give up material sense gratification, which is based on sexual connections with women. One devotee will say to another, "Oh, you have given up sense gratification. Starting today, I shall also give it up."
Hari Bol.
One should learn to increase one's love for the devotees, to satisfy them, and to give up sense objects unfavorable to serving Krishna. And one should learn to view the entire universe as paraphernalia for the Lord's service. By engaging the objects of the senses in Krishna's service, one automatically becomes detached from them. And as one passes one's days in the association of the Lord's devotees, one's transcendental ecstasy increases more and more. Through discussions about the topics of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, one who wants to be free from the harassment of Maya in the form of sense gratification must constantly associate with pure devotees of the Lord who have no engagement other than chanting and Shivacharyya has pointed out that just as one should cultivate friendship with devotees, one must cultivate a spirit of friendship towards the demigods who manage the universe on the Lord's behalf. Thus, one should live peacefully within this world.
So, which we read just now, to give up the sense gratification, one should associate with devotees. And what one should do, in association, we should not come in association of devotees to fight amongst ourselves, to find faults amongst ourselves. But that is what is, is written by, mentioned by Srila Sridhar Swami, is telling that one should just should not envy one another. We should understand that we are here in this material world because of envy towards the Lord. And if we cultivate that habit, rather than to give it up, then no one can take us out of this material world, right? So these are two contradictory things. We want to go back to Godhead. At the same time, we want to keep our enviousness, very carefully. That's not possible. It won't happen. So we need to cultivate non-enviousness. We may think we should become happy by seeing other devotees' advancement. Many times we may see that the devotees who came very, more early, more later than us, they can get more benefits, more advancement. So one should not become envious that, I am not given so much privilege the way he is given. He has just arrived a few years ago. I am practicing bhakti from so many years together. Why I am not given what he is given? So this mentality will not help us to achieve our desired goal. So we need to, as soon as possible, we need to cultivate removing this mentality. The more quickly we remove or we purify this mentality, the more easily it will help us to progress in spiritual life. Otherwise, we are entangled anyhow, and we will keep entangled. How Lord will save us? Lord can show us direction, but it is for us to walk on that direction, walk towards that direction. If we don't walk towards that direction, then what Lord can do? We cannot blame Lord. I am doing all this, other things, but still it's not happening as it is desired. Yeah, we need to do both things, precautions and cure. Both are required. The doctor suggests two things. Whenever we go to doctor, he gives us medicines as well as precautions. So even one is taking the medicine and he is not following the precautions which are needed, for curing that disease, that medicine is not going to be very effective till the time he is preventing the precautions. So both things are important. Right? We cannot say that one is more important, another is less important. Both are equally important. So precautions, we need to take that. We should not cultivate all these habits which comes in a very subtle form, which doesn't appeal or which won't be visible to us grossly, but subtly it is there. That feeling will come. So we need to hold it back. We need to think over it twice before acting. That really is this feeling of towards the other devotees, is it conducive for my spiritual life or not? If it is not, then I should not go with that. Another last, one nice point which Srila Prabhupada mentioned in this purport of today's verse is that of service. How the queens could satisfy Lord by their sincere affection and service. So Lord is not satisfied by our external features, external features in terms of skills, in terms of our talents. Lord is not satisfied by that. Here it is mentioned very clearly. Those queens who were so beautiful that they could even bewilder the Cupid, who is bewildering everyone else, right? And they are not able to bewilder the Supreme Lord. Just imagine. So they are not able to satisfy Lord by that feature. But how they are able to satisfy Lord? By their sincere affection and service. So the service of Lord is the topmost. We'll read another purport in which Srila Prabhupada describes something about service. This is from 7th Canto, 5th chapter, 12th verse. Please read.
mainly for the service of the Lord. Everyone should prize another service to the Lord and not be proud of oneself. This is the way of Vaishnava thinking, Vaikuntha thinking. There may be
rivalries and apparent competition between servants in performing service, but in the Vaikuntha planets, the service of another servant is appreciated, not condemned. This is Vaikuntha competition. There is no question of enmity between servants. Everyone should be allowed to render service to the Lord to the best of his ability, and everyone should appreciate the service of others. Such are the activities of Vaikuntha. Since everyone is a servant, everyone is on the same platform and is allowed to serve the Lord according to his ability. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivisto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. The Lord is situated in everyone's heart, giving dictation according to the attitude of the servant. However, the Lord gives different dictation to the non-devotees and devotees. The non-devotees challenge the authority of the Supreme Lord, and therefore the Lord dictates in such a way that the non-devotees forget the Lord's service life after life and are punished by the laws of nature. But when a devotee very sincerely wants to render service to the Lord dictates in a different way. As Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 10.10, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give understanding by which they can come to me. Everyone is actually a servant, not an enemy or friend. And everyone is working under different directions from the Lord, who directs each living entity according to his mentality. So again, the similar thing which we read from the last purport, that one should not, there should not be any enmity. Srila Prabhupada is writing, there should not be any enmity between the servants. If the servants fight among themselves, then what will be affected? Service will be affected, right? So why to affect service for our personal differences, and service will be affected of the Lord, right? Who is common center for our life, who we have given up the center of our life, in which we had in our previous, before coming to Krishna consciousness, the center was so many different centers were there. But now after coming to Krishna consciousness, we have one common center, that is Radha Madhav, right? So we should not make the service of Radha Madhav hamper due to our personal differences. That's not very good. And he has written that everyone should praise another service to the Lord, not to be proud of one's own service. This is a Vaishnava way, Vaishnava thinking, Vaikuntha thinking. Not that I am doing the best service, no one is able to do like me. That's not the way of the Vaishnava way of thinking. We all want to go to the Vaikuntha planets, right? So we need to adopt this Vaikuntha thinking. Without, we want to go to Vaikuntha, but we want to keep the material thinking, that I am the best. I am no one is better than me. So that is very, very low thinking. But the Vaishnava way of thinking is like this, that everyone else's service is much, much better than me. Then that will not give pride for us, which is again the hampering for our devotional service. Because if we become proud, which is like of no use, then that's again going to disturb in our service. Because we will be thinking, oh, I have done so nice. And that can come again so subtle, it will not knock us that, you are getting proud now. Please get alarmed. Yeah, we can get through someone if we are conscious enough. Some devotees. So that is the benefit of staying in association of devotees. If we are not in association of devotees, if we are not taking benefit of the association of devotees, then even if we are proud, then we will not get checked, which is going to disturb us progressively in our service. So if we are proud and surrendered, towards devotees, then even sometimes it may come without our knowledge, then we will be immediately knocked. Prabhu, please wake up. This is not the right way. Our goal is different, and you are heading to a different process, which is not going to give us our goal. So we need to be very conscious, very cautious, even that we adopt this Vaishnava way of thinking, not the material thinking that I am the best. That is in the material world, people think like that, I am the best, and they want to prove themselves that the best. But here we want to prove them that I am not the best. If we want to prove that others are best, right? This is what is the Vaikuntha thinking. This is what a Vaishnava thinking is. So if we adopt these things, then again, it should not be taken that, okay, everyone is best, I am very fool, so I won't do anything. That's not the right way. Here is Prabhupada is writing that everyone should be allowed to render service to the best of his ability. And everyone should appreciate the service of others. So we should perform this devotional service to the best of our ability, right? We should not have any compromise in thinking ourselves, too humble that I won't be able to do it. That is not humility. That is inferiority complex. So there is very slight difference. Though both looks alike, but there is a lot of difference between both of them. One helps us to boost our service attitude, and another makes us think of very low, and it doesn't allow us to do service at all. So we should become humble, of course, and by becoming humble only we can chant the holy names of the Lord constantly, as stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Was that? Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina amanadena kirtaniya sadahari. So only by becoming more humbler than a blade of grass, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Otherwise it's not possible. For our own ability, our own capabilities, we can, get the mercy of Lord. It's not possible. Only by the mercy of devotees of the Lord, right? Only by the mercy of devotees of the Lord we can achieve it easily, and we should hanker for such mercy, right? So we'll sing one another bhajan in this mood of begging for the mercy of the devotees of the Lord. This is another bhajan written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Kabe Shri Chaitanya More Karibe Nadaya Kabe Ami Paiba Vaishnava Pada Chaya Chariba Vishaya Bhimana Kabe Vishnu Jane Ami Kariba Samana Galavastra Kritanjali Vaishnava Nikate Dante Trina Karidara Ibanishka Pate kariya jana iba dukha grama samsara nalahaite magiba vishrama. Suniya mara dukha Vaishnava Thakura Hamalagi Krishna ave Dibena prachura. Vaishnavera Vedane Krishna Daya Maya Ehena Pamara Prati Habena Sadaya. Vinodera nivedana Vaishnava charane Kripakari sange laha Eya kinchane. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. So, we saw that this is how we need to pray, to Lord, to the Vaishnavas for seeking the blessings of Vaishnavas. Then only we can sustain in the association of devotees. Otherwise, it's easy to come in the association of devotees, but it's very difficult to stay in the association of devotees. So if we want to stay for all our lives, we should seek the blessings of devotees. By the blessings of devotees only we can stay in the association of devotees. Otherwise, it's not possible with our own charisma or with our own abilities. It's not at all possible to stay in association of devotees. It's just if we are very prayerful, if we are very, very humble, then we can stay in association of devotees all our life. Otherwise, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna. If any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Bhai. Thank you for the class. The real question is the mystery still, that the queens of Lord Krishna, they are not able to attract the Lord Krishna. Can you please give some input in this?
So queens of Lord Krishna who are even able to defeat the cupids, but they are not able to attract Lord Krishna, because Krishna is here. The purport Srila Prabhupada mentions that because Krishna is self-satisfied, Atmaram. Here it is given in the purport itself. Such was the beauty and attraction of the queens of Lord Krishna, yet they could not disturb the transcendental senses of the Lord. This is because the Lord is all perfect and thus Atmaram, or self-sufficient. He does not require anyone's extraneous help for his personal satisfaction. Therefore the queens could not satisfy the Lord by their feminine attractiveness, but they satisfied him by their sincere affection and service.
If nobody can attract him, then how come the internal potency from the Lord took the form of Srimati Radharani, attracts a Krishna and bewilders Krishna?
Yeah, so that's
Hare Krishna. I think here the context is different. They are comparing the attraction of the material world for the pleasure, for the sense pleasure. So that is why it is mentioned that even the queens also could not attract the Krishna with that aspect. With that aspect. Yeah. But of course, Radharani attracts Krishna by transcendental aspects. So
yes.
These are two different things.
Yes. So there is difference between correct. There is difference between so Radharani is not seeking, or any pure devotee, they don't want to satisfy their senses, So here attractiveness means that we want to satisfy our own senses and attract Lord, by our own abilities. But that's not possible. But Radharani is able to attract because of her sincere devotion to Lord, because of giving her ability to give pleasure to Lord is so high that no one can excel her. She is the topmost of all such. So here it is written, but they are able to satisfy satisfy Lord with their sincere affection and service. So Lord is not that he is not going to get satisfied, but he going to satisfy if we have this service attitude, not selfish attitude. So there is difference, just a small difference between lust and love is that lust means I want to enjoy, and love means that I want to give enjoyment to the Lord. That is love. So that makes it.
One more question I have. And the purport Prabhupada mentioned about Lord Shiva also got attracted by Cupid arrow. But we hear that Shiva, he burned the Cupid.
Yeah, but he got attracted with the Mohini Murti form. It's not generally happening, but because of this is also we can also understand it as from the pastime point of view to teach the lesson to us. Don't take it lightly. These things are dealt to with utmost care and attention. If any small lose in attention, then we will immediately fall victim to it. And many examples are there too, who have very great stalwarts have fallen victim to such things. So small, it is like Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna consciousness is like walking on the razor blade, Small disturbance or small inattention, immediately cut, So it's so one has to be very attentive, very, very attentive. That is there for that sense maybe. Okay, thank you so much for your attention, and whatever I told, it is for me. If you all bless me, then I can follow to some extent whatever I told. So I seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas, so that whatever is I am telling, that I am able to follow it. Hare Krishna. Grantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Nithai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.